.com/gshipley/origin_manual. And so what I want to do is take Enterprise, let me find it, I'll show you what I've worked on so far. Let's see. So when Red Hat announced OpenShift Enterprise back in January, we had decided that there wasn't a good manual to train people on how to actually get this installed. And so I took a couple months off and actually wrote or created this training manual that goes through and walks users through how to manually install, configure, administer, and use OpenShift Enterprise. And I think it's like 280 pages, something like that. And so it's a lab-based manual. So the goal for what I'm trying to do this week and maybe this month, depending on how Summit goes, is to convert this document from OpenShift Enterprise and make it applicable to OpenShift Origin. Okay? And so the approach I took with OpenShift Enterprise was not to just use Puppet scripts and Vagrant scripts and all of these things that can do this for you in a couple of minutes, but for people who really want to understand how Origin works under the covers, to go through and manually install and configure everything. You know, like bind and DHCP and your networking and installing your packages, setting up and compiling your SE Linux policies, things like that. So really in-depth technical manual process of how to install OpenShift Origin. Now, would someone actually go through this? Probably not, unless they wanted a deep understanding. Otherwise, they would just use the Puppet scripts or whatever other installation methods are out there. But I think as administrators, when they are using Puppet, this would be good for them to fall back on and understand, you know, what ActiveMQ and Imp Collective is actually doing. So the good thing is, I would say 90% of this is done. I just need help with converting it over to Origin speak, Origin packages, and Fedora land instead of, you know, part of this is registering your Red Hat Enterprise Linux system to rip that section out and replace it with the Fedora stuff as well. So that's what my goal is this week, to get this out there in people's hands, but it may not happen because summit's always a busy time. But I'm not a professional author by any stretch of the imagination, so even if you don't like writing and you could just help with, you know, checking the flow, make sure it makes sense, fixing grammatical errors, things like that, just follow the GitHub repo or email me and I'll add you as a committer to it and try to make this a community-based approach. So that's what I'll be working on. Probably not tonight. I was going to start it tonight, but after seeing that fantastic cartridge presentation, I've decided to write the WordPress cartridge tonight instead. But I will be working on this week. And so please help out if this is something you're interested in, especially if you're not like a hardcore software developer but still want to get involved in the Origin open source project. This is an activity that you can take part of.
What is your email address?
gshipley@redhat.com.
What's the URL for the GitHub?
It's github.com/gshipley/origin_manual. Is what I called it. I just created it. I'll check in this document. Oh, I do use Markdown, so if you're not familiar with Markdown, take 5 minutes to learn it. But that's what I'll be using for the authoring system, and then that'll allow us to convert it to PDF or whatever we want to do down the road. Cool, thanks.
Thank you.